Welcome back. Oh, let me turn on the light. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, let me get where's there better. Alright, so I'm back with another video about not a reading. It's gonna be to showcase and tell you the story and my own personal experience and reflections on like highly covert narcissists, right? Scary good, bro. It's like they're a pro at this, right? And I'm so thankful for all my teachers. Like, this involves the business side of things, like, because I've expressed like some family things now. I wasn't even gonna do this video today about this. I had another idea planned, but then I got the message, because I'm spiritual and spiritually responsible and street smart. Alright? So, because I've learned a lot of things, that's what I'm going to explain and tell y'all. Sit around, grab some water, stay hydrated, alright? This is just lemon water. Cheers. Now, I wanted to talk about like when people don't see you, right? So I guess this applies to this. When the people around you don't recognize who you are, okay? And they take weakness, they take kindness for weakness, and like all that, right? If you're of light and you do a lot of good, you'll know what I'm saying. A lot of light workers are mistaken for weak, but we not. All right, and here's a story. Here's a story for you. It involves, so I have names for all these people, right? So this particular, the one about my karmic born sister, I called her Puppet Master. And this one, I call Lucy. Okay. If you know, you know what that means. Yes. My intention is to do this with grace and respect for all energies involved. Just one perspective inside. All right, I got some crystals here. Okay. So oh yeah, so I got the message to do this because people like messing around and coming back into your energy thinking they can play, but listen. So this one's about Lucy, and she's my like colleague, business partner. We were doing a nonprofit together, okay? I'll talk about nonprofits in another video. We got so many videos to do. And so I just got the message to do this one today because my guide said, yeah, this energy is coming back. Be ready. Handle it how you want to, because you can handle it however you want to. Because I'm a person who always checks with my guides and my higher self to be like, okay, is this my ego or is this like what I'm supposed to be doing? And so they're like, yeah, girl, go ahead. However you want to explain it go ahead. They got free reign, but I like to be respectful, okay? Right. And so it's just so funny. It's not, though. It's sad for these people. But it's crazy how people never, like, don't learn. Like, even if you explain to them who you are, they just gotta, it's fine. I know. Most people are taught, so I get that. You know. But, okay, so I had a business partner named, we'll call her Lucy. Okay? And she was karmic to me, too, because there was a lot of, how you can tell when someone's karmic is if they're, you see similarities and find safety in their behaviors, because like it's from your past, like kind of how I was explaining how I got into a relationship with an abusive partner because I came from an abusive family, so it felt comfortable. It's kind of like that. There is signs, like it'll be slightly better, right? But the signs are signing, like, like, oh, but they're like this, so maybe, like, no baby's baby. No baby's baby, all right? So, okay, let me get my check, because I could say, like, man, like, I was just going to be like, oh, she bitter. Like, some people be bitter about it. But get better about it. Anyway. That's a song, too. But y'all skip if you don't hear my shenanigans. Because I could tell that in the collective, there's people that are here just for the information and here for, like, the spiritual side. So I'm going to tell both. So, okay. Because that's part of my mission, connecting the spiritual with the actual world, right? And how it connects. Let me be clear. Let me be truthful. And let me be protected. All right, and y'all too. Okay, so this is my Lucy, right? She's my business partner. We started a nonprofit together, and okay, so it didn't really take me long to figure this one out. As it did, like I was saying before, it took me a dang near 20 years, but this only took, like, not even that long, like a year, and not even that, but okay, so trace it back, rewind to where I first met this Lucy. Was at one of my first show, because I opened my own spiritual business, Protected Guidance, and I went to my first event, venting, like, you know how you see, like, those festivals or whatever, and there's people in booths, and they got their own things going on, and you can walk around, like, yeah. So we met there, and so she came up, and I was looking real nice, right? Because I am very professional. When I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, that's what her attraction was to me, right? Is I had my stuff together. Okay, so then we talked during that time. Like, she spent the whole time, like, at my spot, like, just talking. And then, so this is where, like, the covert narcissist comes in. Because previously, like, these people were pretty out there in their abuse, like, towards me. Not everybody else, they got everybody else fooled, but, like, I'm talking about personal, like, interpersonal relationships, how you can spot it, or red flags, or whatever. Like, you're always going to have to listen to your own feelings and body, and you have your own karmic paths and lessons you got to learn, so, but yeah, so she was talking, we was vibing, right, and that's why it's really kind of, like, difficult to tell, like, if it's your path. I mean, your karmic path is your path. It's always your path. Yeah. So, I entertained it. So we spent all the day talking, and then we made plans. Like, we found out some personal things about each other that were similar, which is why I have to mention it sooner than later, because the covert narcissist will identify, and I'm talking, when I'm saying, like, covert narcissist, I'm saying someone who intends harm and tries to hide it, like, very good, and they're, like, psychological. They, like, try to get to know you so that way they can use it against you, right? Like, oh, she's spiritual, let me do some spiritual stuff. Oh, she likes numbers, let me do that. Let me, like, right? They know you. And this is just, like, not personal. It's nothing personal about, that's why I don't say names too sometimes. Like, it's about the energies here, right? Light and dark, and you know, like, if yeah, we're all start off light, but if you're, well, not all, but if you're programmable or not. Okay, so, and I believe that all this is like of light, like, right? Like, so the light sent me her to like really, like, you know what I'm saying? To figure out my life path and to, for not like a test, but yeah, see where I'm at and, you know, because the spiritual challenges will get harder just to decipher, and you need to have real strong self-love and discernment. Real strong self-love and discernment, all right? Okay, so we were talking, and like it so happens that she has like, okay, I'm gonna just say, my birthday is coming up. If y'all didn't know, it's coming up soon, real soon. And so, and that was one of the things that like kind of connected us a little, because it was, my birthday is a significant date in her life. Without going into detail about that, it's like not my business, but it involves other people. So with love, but yeah, so the signs we're signing, like, you know, like spiritual people follow, like we listen to our like signs, right? So I got the huge like, okay, stick around, like see what's going on. And then sometimes you're brought together for both of you to grow, and not always will both of you make the right choices, right? So you'll have to part ways. So yeah, so basically that happened, and then so we immediately made plans. When you hear my stories and you've gone through something like this, or you already know what I'm saying, you'll be like, yeah, girl, yeah, girl. Like, you're gonna be like, yeah, you should have been new. I know. We out here learning. Okay, so then, yeah, just thank you for anyone who's watching this and like comments. Like, I see you. Thank you. Okay. But yeah. Say then we started. I remember I was at my first show starting my own business, and it was really great. It was so good. And so then we started talking, and we decided to go and to start some business together too, like right away. And this showcases like the different relationship dynamics and the energy of it between, like, this is just like a business partner, right? But this type of dynamic can happen in any relationship. It can happen, you know what I mean? Like a sister and a brother, a romantic relationship, a boyfriend and girlfriend, a father and son. Like this, I'm just talking about I'm sharing like the dynamics of interpersonal relationships. Okay? So in this, and it's similar in any situation, okay? So we started like hanging out every single day, and planning our, like, what are we gonna do with each of our talents, because we're both talented. And Lucy's very strong too, like respect, like, you know, but there's energies here for dark and light. So they're very strong. Yeah, you're right. Like, you see this world, like, the darkness is very powerful. True, yes. And so is the light. But they be thinking. I mean, I feel the light always is higher because, you know, that's what I believe. I believe love always wins. Okay, so. And let me stay focused. Okay, so like, yeah, so she was like powerful, right? So I saw that and I was like, okay, cute, okay. Let's see what we gonna do. Let's see how this pans out. And so we would hang out every day, plan some things, like, and I would be the more, Okay, because let me start with my background. I have many years working with children and overseeing schools and children, teachers, parents, so that kind of thing. So I was in a corporate world for at-risk youth, and I'll get into that. That's another story time, because it's about the energies everywhere, bro. Okay, so if you see one of these videos and it happens to be the one that's about career, like today, then that one's for you, and that's a sign for you. Okay, if you're into spirituality or not, like that is a sign. And to pay attention and to learn what you can. Even if you hate me, just learn what you can and smack my face away off your screen, alright? Because I do tend to trigger people, but it's okay. I love you. Te amo. But, okay, so like the energies, okay, we were working with each other every day, and then I was the more professional one. Well, not professional, like more, let me say that properly. Corporate, I guess. I was like a boss, like, so I had employees, and like I knew how to do, like, I was doing time cards, interviews, like scheduling, you know. I had 6 employees and then 150 students involving their teachers and principals, like staff, like all that. So I know how to get people as a team working together. And so I took on that role, okay, to try and better organize us. And that was the first red flag, because she didn't seem too concerned about it. And so I excused it in my mind, like, oh, well, she's just not experienced. She doesn't really know, like, how's this going to go down. But then she is, because she is a professional in her own right. Like, she has her own things, good or bad. What she does is good or bad. That's not for me to say. But, yeah, so I just thought, okay, well, like, maybe she doesn't have the experience, like, and she doesn't really know how things can go off, like, sideways. So you have to have everything in writing. Like, I'm very like, okay, well, this is all great now, but it's not all rainbows and cupcakes. So, like, I always wanted to put something in writing, and she never did. Ding, ding, ding. Right. I was like, well, because this ain't gonna happen. Like, we're both very powerful, and when 2 people are very powerful and visionaries, like, we gotta have the same vision, right? We didn't. And it brings it back to a pattern in my life too, of how can I say, without sounding like egoic, but like, people get, like, intimidated by me, and their ego takes over, because they don't recognize, it's all about self-love. Like, I could tell if you're not doing your self-love practices, like, bro, I could tell. You can't hide that. But I was giving, like, this person grace because I love humans, and I know the struggle. Like, she's had traumas, right? And that's another red flag. They'll spill all their, like, traumatic things. Not all. They always keep something secret. They'll tell you a little bit of information to get you to open up, right? So I knew, like, so I was like, okay, she been through it. Let's see what she gonna do with that energy. Because I know who I am, and I know what I'm here for. Like, bro, I'm like a walking karma for these people. Like, bro, God just be putting me places to give people karma. Like, here we go, have this light being. What you gonna do with her? You gonna be jealous and mad at her light, or you gonna learn? They gonna learn. Anyway, we out here learning. And I learned too, see? But, okay, so that's what is a repeated pattern of mine. Even with, like, men, they're very threatened by the fact that I know who I am and I can't be controlled. they get threatened and they get nervous because they're needy. So if I can't control you, you won't love me and you won't stay. And that's a sad thing. Like, get hope. Like, self-love. I had to do it. And it really feels good to love yourself. I don't know why. Anyways. But that's why I always say, like, love feels better. That's why. Like, how you made it? Because love feels better? Like, than hating on anyone, and myself either. So then, so I was trying to give her grace too. Like, okay, well, because I see her, like, I know you can do things, right? And she spoke a lot about the same things I want to do, which this kind of covers a big topic. I'm going to have to break this down. But right for now, I'm just telling you this story about this person because, as I said, I'm getting the message that they're coming back and trying to retry me. I welcome that. I welcome you. Like, see if I'm ready. I'm waiting. So, yeah. I really gotta write all this down, bro. But, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm talking about it now, is because this person is, trying to reemerge, trying to get, like, try it again, which they do. So, yes. So I was trying to give her grace, to love herself and see what she'll do. And then I noticed, like, things weren't happening. Because I'm very, like, okay, let's get this done, like, right? I'm a boss, so I'm like, all right, get it in writing, like, right, like the corporate. If it's not on paper, if it's not verifiable, it didn't happen. It's just words in the wind, right? So I like everything on writing. Okay, so like and a strategic plan. Like, okay, so if this happened, if we have a disagreement, what's gonna happen? And it never got written down. Like when we went to do it, like, and she was very into substances. I'll say that. Substances and outside yummies, outside feel me good, like, you know, like outside outside comforts. She was very into outside comforts, and I'm not. I mean, obviously I'm not. I'm just saying, like, there's a difference. I'm a human, let's be real. And I'll get into my own stories later. Good job. But, so I noticed, like, she was very, like, I'm just going to put this out there. Like, her house was thrash, bro. Like, thrashing. Like, and I didn't understand why. Like, she was a stay-at-home wife. Her kids are grown. Like a housewife. Okay, yeah. She was a housewife. So, but her house was always, like, so crazy, bro. Like, insane. And there was, like, another sign was, like, there was always flies. Like, no matter what. There were so many flies in that house. Like, and that's a sign of darkness, bro. Not that if you have a bunch of flies, like, you're dying. Like, no, this was... You clearly know the difference. Like, no windows open, no nothing, like a million flies everywhere, okay? That tells you about the energy going on there. And there's no judgment, like, right? It's just this what I saw. And then, so I just kept excusing it all because I've been there. I was like, okay, like, you know, what are we doing? We got a little love to work on, let's do that. But see... I want to make it very clear. The problem with humans is they lack self-love. If you lack self-love, you're dangerous. You're a dangerous person for me personally to be around. And that's just it. Okay, I'm sorry. No judgment. It's just I've learned to this much. If you lack self-love and don't keep up on your self-love practices, you're dangerous for me to be around. Because I'm a lover and I'm a giver. And I'm a projector of my light. So, yeah. So, and I always found, like, that's crazy. And I would always help. One of the main things was me helping her get organized and having a clean, effective working environment and space. Because how? Like, right? And also, this is another thing that they had like one, she was married, she was a housewife. And then they had one car. And her husband would have to walk, like, no respect. I mean, not to get in their relationship. I don't know if it works for them. Clearly, it works for them, bro. Love that for you. But just things I noticed, right? Like how she covered herself over everyone in her life, and that's what she was trying to do to me. Siphon my light. Because she wanted, it's all ego, because she wanted to appear more powerful and strong. It's like, goes back to like people who want you to worship them versus I want you to worship yourself, right? So she did, see, this is, I'm going to walk you through this. The reason why we connected is because we shared the same values, like people should be free. And she was a person of color too. So I was like, okay, she gets it. Her husband was not. That's another story. But anyways, I just heard, like, I don't want to say that though, bro, no. Like reverse racism. But that's not a thing. That's why I didn't want to say it. But it's the vibe. Which is valid, bro. But anyways. Do you, girl? Anyway, okay, so. I'm just showcasing that we're different, right? So, she would, like, be just home, chilling, vibing, and fully capable of, like, going scooping her husband up, or, like, just letting him have the car or whatever, like, do whatever. And then he would always have to walk and, like, do the most. And that's what I noticed, like, she had a control over all the people in her life. Kind of like, it was similar to the Puppet Master. You watch my other video for that. Where my karmic born sister, like, born evil. Like, people think they can control you. And when you're of light, like, and they find out, oh, I can't control you, then it's a problem. But yeah, so I could tell that the people in her life, she had very domineering, very, embracive, like, energy, but of the guise of, oh, I'm just doing it for love. That's covert narcissism. That is covert narcissism, when they hide it behind, well, I'm doing it for good. The good for yourself, okay? Because and then when I met her children, I noticed the dynamic between that too. Very suffocating, but in the guise of, like, love, right? So it, like, her demeanor is, like, very cheery, like, it's kind of psychotic, but it's very, like, oh yes, like a mask on type shit, mask completely on, glued that shit, like Goosebumps, that one episode with the mask. Anyway, haunted mask. Can't take that off at this point, bro. Anyway, that's what your choices make who you are, bro. Anyways, so she had a very dynamic of, like, over consuming people and things, because yeah. And not that if you're spiritual, you have to be perfect, but you should know simple things about, like, cleanliness and things like that, about energetically. And if you like the dirt around you and you're comfortable in that, it's not a problem. It just is what it is. If you're using it for bad, like, right. So that's why we got first together, because we shared a lot of the same, 'em, same, activism views. I thought, but it's for a different reason. See, like she was doing it as like, yeah, it's for the people, but also worship me because look what I've done. Versus, well, can we do to help the people though? Right? And then it would be like, well, what about us too? Like, we need this and this and this, and like bougie. Which I entertain that because that's not who I am. Like, I need to be more like about money, right? Like I thought that's not the way it is, right? You do have to consider it, but a financial abuse that ties into this again. And she thought that she could she thought she could financially abuse me because it was my history. And at the time, I was just coming up at my own business. And if you've ever done that, anything like that, you know, it ain't a straight line. You know, you got to learn, you got to re-up, you got to learn, okay, it's a process. You know, your first business, if you're lucky, your first business, like, blows up. Like, that's crazy. That's congratulations. But that ain't my story. But, yeah, so she saw me that I was capable of doing things, right? Like, how can she it was like, how can I use her? How can I control her and keep, like, they appreciate you and they know what you're worth, but they try to siphon it and control it. That's the dangerous part. So she's like, all right. And I was thinking we can work together because I could see, like, okay, well, maybe she can handle the money thing because, like, I don't really care about it. I just want to help the people. But yeah, that was just a cover-up, bro. She just wants everyone to worship her. Like, and that's, like, the thing of the ego and, like, the energies of the darkness. So then... I'm gonna show you an example of a sign, right? Of what happened personally. Like, we brought in another partner, kind of. She was becoming our partner. I'm so grateful for her too. I'll talk about anyways. So then we all did like this little painting together because she was into art. So we all did our own. We were trying to mesh our energies, right? And she's very spiritual, into dark spiritual though. Darkness. So they're very knowledgeable too, but they just work, they know all the same things, but they're just dirtier and they work for the darkness. Whether they know they work for the darkness or not, they do. So we all did this painting and we all did our own symbols and signs that represent us, right, on this painting. And then me and this other partner weren't artists like that. So Lucy, we gave our little painting to Lucy, and we're like, okay, do whatever, like, final touches on that, right? Like, do yours. Why did she come back with the whole thing blocked out, and it was just hers? Ours was underneath. We said, this is the same. We did this. Where's ours? Oh, it's under yours. Well, that's a choice. Right? And then so we like, and then alone, separately, because I'm about respect, right? And so alone, like privately, when it was just like me and her, I was like, maybe not, maybe change that. Like, why is yours, I like it, but why is yours overpowering ours? And she's like, oh, like she played it off, like, oh, well, just because of this, and I'm like, but no, it's all of us. And she's like, okay, I guess, like she's like very passive aggressive, like, no, she's like egoic, like freaking out, like, this bitch caught me. But then she's like, okay, I'll fix it for you, and then doesn't, and then like throws some more shit on top, like, bro, no. Yeah. And so that was one example too. And then another example, it always comes back to like everybody's a bad until you're standing next to a badder, you know what I mean? Like, respect to you unless you start unless I view you as better than me, then it's like tear you down. And now I can't handle it because she broke real character. I'll tell you this: this was the last straw. There's many stories, and I'll get to that because I have lessons after these stories. I'm gonna break it down into lessons. But we're only at 35. Okay, so the one story that got me out of there was the final story was when we were starting. We partnered with like a safe house for women and children. And so we had our first event with them, and it was at a university, and it was a domestic violence event there that they held at the university. And so I did all this stuff, right. Like, I got the cute. I know because I'm cute. Not like that, but like because I had to work with children. So I know how to make things really cute and fun. And so I was like, okay, cool. We're going to put our information in this easy. You got to make it easy for someone, right? And fun. So I said, all right, cool. I'm going to make a QR code, and you can click it on this little pamphlet that tells our information, what we're about. They can do the QR code because our other partner did music, and then it'll go to her music playlist. Oh my God, I should definitely plug that. I'm going to tell you. I don't know if she wants me to say, but she's out there though. But it kind of involves her. No, I won't. But she's so talented, and she's very healing. Her voice, she's a healer, right? I love her so much. We had to part too, but so anyways, it went back to her like songs and like healing for the women and children of like the domestic violence survivors, because she was one too. Then so I didn't print it. Now listen, this is where our roles come in, and then then you see the sabotage in your own your sabotage. These covert narcissism start to sabotage their own growth. If you're partnered with someone you're trying to sabotage, like, that ain't gonna work. So then I sent her everything to print out on the pamphlet, because at the time, remember, I didn't have no ink. Child, I ran out of ink. I was printing all my labels for my company. And then so I said, all right, I'm gonna do this part, and then your job is to just print it out. Because she was more financially, she had a husband at that, like, yeah. And so I was like, okay, so your job is to print out a bunch of these, right? Pamphlets. And she came up to the event with like 4. I said, that was a choice. And then we quickly ran out of the pamphlets. Like, they were gone in no time. Because, yeah, people need help. So, but then we all make mistakes, right. But it's how you handle it. So then, and the whole time, if she could tell, I feel like I was catching on to her because I kept asking her questions. Like, do you, because I was feeling her she was over abusing me. And so I was like, well, do you take weakness for kindness? And she's like, no, because this and this and this, and like all that, like, had a real good story what to say, right? Because she studied that. Like, she really studied how to, like, come off, like, she really practiced putting that mask on real tight. Sewing it in fact. With her rituals. Anyways. And I try to warn people. I say, no, I'm not the one, though. Like, it's not me saying that. It's like, God is I got an army of angels behind me. Like, they follow me everywhere. Trust me. I can't run for myself. They all me too. But, so, when, after that, she felt like me backing away from her. And so she had a tantrum, kind of. It was, this is another thing, like, bro, I do readings too, and I can tell when you're not doing your work. I'm sorry, but I see you. And so, and this power is given, it is power. This gift is given to me because I don't abuse it. Okay? So, after that, she felt some type of way. but didn't, because I'm really big on communication, because you ain't got nothing without good communication. Communication, oh, I love it. Please explain, tell me, I love it. Talk. I love it. Good or bad, I love it. Okay, so then she felt really uncomfortable with that, what was happening egoically. Okay, I knew what was happening. She felt threatened because our other partner like spoke her story and was getting more attention, and then I was at the booth talking to people. I was getting more attention, and so she had a fit. But then she hid it behind, well, I have trauma too. I'm just crying because it affects me. Like, no, you're crying. I'm sorry how this comes off, but they said gone, be gone. So she, under the guise of like hiding her tears, like her tantrum, like, they're gonna leave me, like, they're like, right, like all this worry is like valid. And then so she hid it when we were asking, or like when somebody else was asking, oh, are you like, she would hide it under, oh yeah, it just affects me, like something else is going on, like, okay. And then so all right. So then in the parking lot, I didn't see her. She disappeared somewhere. And then I was with my other partner, and we were on our way to the car. And then we passed her, and she was just like crying into her husband's, whatever. It's according to me. Take it or leave it. I'm going to say it how I say it. Her puppet, her little, like, I don't know. I'm really convinced she got some dolls somewhere with that guy. Like, anyways, but do you? Play on, playa. But, so she was just crying at him, and I was like, I know, I'm not an animal, so I was like, I'm discerning. So I was like, oh, do you want to talk? Do you want to communicate about what's going on? And she just was like that, crying. Because have you ever seen a narcissist like try to play, like they'll have all the plays. They'll be like, what can I do now? Play innocent, play dumb, play sad, play baby. Like, what do you need? How can I get out of this? Like, right? If you back a narcissist in a corner, you know what I'm talking about. That's funny afterwards, but it's not funny because like, you have choices. But anyway, but your choices on each thing, how you handle each day, is who makes you who you are. So then I was like, she was like, no, she just shook her head, and I was like, okay, well, we'll talk to you then when you're ready. It never happened, and it never was going to happen, because she cannot communicate what she has to. That's her own problem, but it's different, because she chooses darkness, like, does some woo-woo shit. And so, yeah, it's like a sleeping spell on everyone in her life to control them. And with the guise of, I'm just so sweet, just help me. Like, she'll use that. She'll use, like, or she'll use, like, well, I have trauma. Or, like, she'll use any card she can. But I am a seer, and nobody believes me when I say, I try to warn them. I'm not the one. I'm just not the one. Like, I should come with a warning label. I really should. But we out here giving people lessons, and they giving me lessons. Like, I see, the problem with that is I see your value, you don't see mine. You just want to suffocate mine. Well, you do see mine. It's weird. And then, so that's when I had to, like, back away and be like, nah, she cannot. And how, thank goodness, I backed myself out of that before we made any actual, like, because she would have been all over that. Yes, I'm so grateful. And this comes back to one of my other videos about asking Michael, whoever you see power and protection from, ask them, show me who's not for me. And be ready to receive the answer right then and there. Be ready for the next situation that nobody handles right. Nobody knows how to handle you. Like, all right? And it's not their bad if they're ill-equipped. They're ill-equipped. This is not for you. Skirt, back. U-turn. Yeah, so that's when I knew. That's when I had to, like, definitely walk away from that. She would never face the problems. But, okay, that's enough for today. And I'll be back with another one. I love you. Cheers. Salute to the women and children.